Okay, so I'm just gonna, it's like we're streaming now. So, hey everyone, I'm Dr. Binning of the Functional Health Institute, and this is my friend Michelle, who recently went through our Inspired Living Reset program. And we thought it would be a great idea to jump on here and quickly share her journey through this program, kind of where she started, where she ended up, some of the new things she might have learned, some of the challenges that she faced. And there's many because she's a busy person, just like all of us can be. But let's get into it. So Michelle, I know when you reached out to me, one of the things you had mentioned is, hey, I've kind of followed your information, your content for a while. Why don't you kind of start with giving us a little bit of details about yourself and then what you were struggling with and what made you reach out to me?
Yeah, so I think I've probably been following you for probably a couple of years now. And I've always wanted to join, I've watched everything that you've posted. But the last few years, personally, like I've gone through a lot of hard situations, a lot of trauma that I've kind of been trying to heal. And um, just watching your whole program, not just for like weight loss, that wasn't necessarily my goal, but a lot of the things that you talk about and that you do are things that I also study and I'm interested in. And I just was never really able to kind of put the pieces together. And so when I reached out, I was just like, I couldn't wait anymore. I was tired of being tired and all the stuff that I was, trying to sort out in my head. And so I just decided I had to do it.
Yeah, I know one of the things that we had talked about many times is you mentioned to me that I knew some of this stuff, I just didn't know how to use it, and I didn't know where to start or what pieces of the puzzles go where. Um, so like, do you want to share like some of the health issues, like some of the things that you were feeling, some of the things you were going through with your health, and specifically, do you want to share any of that?
Yeah. I mean, I was always tired. I was always, I guess, like my nervous system was just constantly fight or flight. Like I normally I'm kind of that go with the flow kind of person and never really had long term, I guess, like situations where stress like affects me continuously. But I just wasn't, I had really bad acne. Like, I think that my hormones were out of balance. Like, everything was just difficult. So I needed to, get that all back into balance. And just like I said, seeing what you offered seemed like the right approach for me. And like the way you explain things in weekly videos it just like connected everything for me. It was not that it was a simple way, but I don't know how to explain it. Like you just explained things really well, where even though I know that a lot of the things you talk about and discuss and each week, um, you just make it make sense.
All right, cool. So now when you started with us, was there like what did you done in the past to help yourself? Like what were some of the things that you were actively doing that should have worked but weren't working? Like, because a lot of the things we experience in life, sometimes we've already dealt with them in the past, so we keep repeating the same strategies to get better, right? So like, for example, if someone's trying to lose weight, they try to lose it when they're 40 the same way they did when they were 25.
Yeah.
And suddenly they have this awakening that, oh crap, this doesn't work like it used to. It's not doing the same effect anymore. So what were some of the things you had tried previously, and then maybe you can highlight some of the things that you found really different in what you started to learn and started to implement in your own life?
Well, I've always tried to stay active. Like I enjoy sports. enjoyed going to the gym, lifting weights. I like boxing. Like I like walking. That's probably my number one thing because it makes me feel more like connected to the community or the area that I'm in, or just the nature itself. But I found that I think what I was trying to do is I was trying to work out harder and I was trying to work out more and I was trying to push myself in ways that I can't do anymore because I'm not 20. And that was just adding to the stress of everything else that I was trying to actually fix. And so I think one of the biggest things when I watched your video about like adding movement back into your routine, and I had already, like, even before I watched the video, I had a plan of like, this is the workout I'm going to do, this is, these are the amount of days I'm going to go to the gym. And then when I watched the video and it was like do things that kind of serve you or like are on like what you enjoy, I realized like I'll just add an extra walk in every day, or like I surf. So I thought maybe I'll start like adding more surf movements into my workouts instead of just going to lift weights to be stronger. Because after doing the release phase and seeing how your body can change and maintain the muscle, and I just realized it was probably more stressful to add those things in that weren't working in the past and do it a little bit more simple.
Nice. And so one of your things you said was a big kind of driving factor was this like fatigue. This fatigue that no matter how many coffees you drink, won't shake it. This nothing really changes it. And then that also, affects all the other parts of our life, right? How much work you're going to get done in a day, how much quality thought process thinking you'll have, and all the brain fog that comes with those things. When did you start to feel like a shift that something's changing here? My energy's coming back. My brain's turning on.
I think it was probably after the first week. My brain started to feel clear. I could think, I could like process things in I guess proper way. It just wasn't chaos up there anymore. Which is probably the best way I could describe it before starting the program. But yeah, I definitely, the fatigue went away like within, I think, after the first or second week. Just a lot more clarity, a lot more calmness.
Awesome. Now, if you were to meet someone, say, that kind of is in the position where you were when you started, and you now have this experience where you've put the right pieces of the puzzle in the right place, you're feeling great, you lost weight, even though that wasn't really necessarily your goal, and we always talked about that in our conversations, but you had that effect, you got your energy back, you got your clarity and your thinking back. What advice would you give that person if they were hesitant or kind of tiptoeing around the idea of changing things so that they can actually feel the best they've felt in a long time?
I would tell them to join your program. Like,
Yeah.
I've told, I talked to my family about it. I've talked to friends about it because I know certain people are dealing with either certain health issues or like things similar to me. I think that it's extremely helpful, and for you to be there the whole way and as accessible as you are for like answering the messages and questions and the Facebook group, like I think it's been a great journey.
Awesome. Well, it's been an honor for me to kind of walk you through this process, because I know your first conversation, I think you nailed the word. I could almost sense the chaos, like you were like all over the place and worried. I think maybe your worry was, what if this feeling doesn't go away?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And one of the things that I might have said to you early was, trust the process. This is going to feel different because you're not going to have to work as hard to overcome some of this stuff. And I think the biggest mistake we tend to make is whenever things are going wrong, it's like, you can exercise your way, you can beat yourself up out of this, right? If you just punish yourself enough. But I think the big shift for you came in the understanding that, okay, my starting place has to be now different, where the actions that I take are from more of a standpoint of, gentleness, kindness, love, support, rather than, okay, more reps, more achy joints after my
Yeah.
workouts, or time on the couch because I need a day to recover. And you're in like, one of the things I love about your story is, you're not in a typical location like, everyone else. You're kind of remote. You have access, which a lot of people would say that's a negative for them, because they're so remote that I don't have access to all these things that you might need, right? Whereas
Yeah.
you never once use that as an out, rather you used all the things in your surroundings that were actually pushing you to succeed, and you focused on those things. Like, you have the ocean nearby, you have sun, you have all this wonderful stuff that, like where I am, I mean, yeah, we're getting sun, but it's not like it's not the
Yeah.
best, right? At this time
Yeah.
of year, it's getting darker and darker. And so I think that, you have so many things that you were able to pull out of your own um, personality, let's say, that you leaned into and grew, that then you started, probably what you started to realize is you don't need a lot of willpower.
Yeah.
You just need like focus, like on
Yeah.
what tasks need to be done when. And it takes that idea of, well, I just don't have the willpower to change what I'm eating, right? I just don't have the willpower to put me first. Um, do you feel like that's kind of accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was, like you said, with my location and stuff, I just was able to use the things that were available to me. Like we talked about the sleep, and I mean, I'm up at 6:30 for work every day. So, I'm usually on my computer outside. So I have that time that I can look at the sky and look at the sun, and then I can watch the sunset every single day. And I don't have, the access to, the light bulbs and all the stuff that you're talking about, but I feel like it was easy to kind of take advantage of the things that were available to me.
Yeah.
So it was really helpful. And then, like, I would say too, like the heart math monitor, like that was a game changer for me, and Audible as well. So
Now, yeah, keep going, keep going.
no, that's
Okay. So what would you say, like now that you're past the 10 weeks and you're kind of learning to navigate your life using the blueprint you learned, what were some of the results that kind of you hold dearest to your heart that you achieved?
um I would say, mm, a lot of like the mental clarity. I feel a lot more moments of peace than I did before. Um, just more learning. I'm constantly like, I'm now completely addicted to Audible, and like I'm going through, these books like crazy, which I enjoy. I've, added more, like I said, movement and just more easier stuff like extra walks in, or maybe I'll surf a little bit more than I used to, just to get that movement in. But yeah, I think everything together has, helped, even though there's certain things that I probably lean into more than others. It's all been necessary and helpful.
Now, even though you didn't really start this journey to lose weight, how much did you end up losing?
I think it was like 17 and a half or 18 and a half pounds. That's been a little bit of a struggle for me to, buy a
Yeah.
new wardrobe and stuff, because it's definitely, but no complaints.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember, over the years doing this work where people would end up buying two, right? They go through the first one. And I just had like a conversation with someone last week where they're like, hey, like, I'm on my second belt and I'm on the last notch of my second belt. What the hell? Right. And they're
Yeah,
not even 6 weeks in, they're just flying, right?
yeah,
Um, but what I want to do is I won't keep you much longer. I want to say thank you. I want to just congratulate you for putting in the effort, for putting yourself first, because that's where everything starts. Is once you decide that you matter, you take action, right? And for sharing your story, being brave enough to get on here and actually, share, some details about your life. I want to say thank you. And guess what? You deserve everything. All the effort you put into yourself isn't because I made you change. It's because you wanted to change. I think maybe I just froze, but that's okay. So congratulations, Michelle. Thank you again for sharing your story with all the people that will end up watching this. And do you have any like parting messages?
I would say like if you're just starting out, just keep going, because I know for me, like one of the struggles was the food. It was a lot of food for me to consume in 2 meals. And if anyone else is like that, just keep going, because it's just, I mean, now I just crave living like that, eating like that. I don't want any of the other junk or 10 meals a day. So just keep going and put everything into action the best that you can and what you have available. And
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. So I'll let you go, and we'll talk again soon, okay?
okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.